Hey folks, welcome to this week's episode of Lunker Junkies TV. We got kind of a mixed bag show for you this week. If you remember a couple weeks ago, we showed you the Roosevelt Kokanee show. A lot of big fish on that show, a lot of good information. But we can only fit so much in a 30-minute show, and we were there for a couple days, and it was just non-stop action. So we wanted to show you a little bit more of that. Day 2 on Roosevelt, we're going to start to kick things off. A lot more good information from Gary Morales and Jim Sutherland. And then we're going to move over to Chalan Lake, where there's actually a derby going on. Jim Sutherland, Gary Morales, John Rourke, and his son Thomas Rourke are actually fishing in the derby. So we're going to show you a little bit of that. We also got into some good cutthroat fishing on Chalan. So show you a little bit of that. A lot more good tips and tricks from Gary Morales and Jim Sutherland. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Lunker Junkies TV.
Fish on! Salmon shark! Salmon shark! Yeah! Woo! That's what you come to Alaska for right there, baby. Woo!
Lunker Junkies TV is brought to you by Mark. Get ready for your season for less. Pro-Cure Bait Sense and Cures, ruthlessly effective. Lamaglass Rods, fish with confidence. Yakima Bait Company, home of the Rooster Tail. Shasta Tackle, inventor of the Sling Blade. Bait Buttons, because presentation matters. B&R Tackle, inventor of the Steelhead Holy Worm. Northwest Sportsman Magazine, chock full of tips, tricks, and useful information. Fish Seward, Alaska, and Oregon Fishing Adventure. Power Drifter Boats, The Real Tech, and Hypnotic Customs Design and Graphics.
So you got one, huh?
Got one on. My first big kokanee here on Roosevelt. Has barely got in the water, as old Gary would say. And apparently my hands ain't very soft because he is off.
Uh-oh. Another day of farming.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun for a second.
Plowing the fields.
Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
We're out here on Roosevelt. This is the second day. It's a little rainy today. We're out here with our buddy Gary Morales of Shasta Tackle, Roger Weber, and Jim Sutherland. It's Jim's boat. He's a pretty proven good kokanee fisherman here. He's putting us on some nice ones. And here's what we're using. Jim's got this corn cured up in Pro-Cure. This is a shrimp krill oil he's got this soaking in. So we're running about 3 kernels of corn here, and then we're going to stick a bait button on there, and that is going to hold that corn on there and make it a little harder for them trout to steal it from us. And then just for a little extra boost of goodness, we're going to throw a little of my Pro-Cure Kokanee Special Super Gel right on the bill of that bad boy.
We put a crippler on. Cripplers for me always work when things are tough, and that's the one lure I always go to when I'm struggling. So yeah, it's working it right now. Not near as aggressive. Good fish though. Good fish.
I'm in the boat.
Oh man, look how fat that thing is.
Yeah.
God, these fish are just fat.
Jeez.
Look at that. Wow.
Beautiful fish.
There's a pink glow. On a day like this, have that little bit of a glow, and the brighter colors will always work for you. Of course, the glow crippler, that redhead, it's like I said, glow as well. Always a good choice. Look, and he got all hooks, man. That fish was not going to get off.
It's going to make a good supper tonight.
That is a nice fish.
Yeah, that's barbecue.
Good job, buddy.
Double header.
Oh no, you snagged my line. Are you on him or not?
I think it's a double header.
Oh, watch, we're going into.
Somebody drive the boat.
You got nice.
Get your rod down. You're going on.
I'm under. Yeah, we're under. Nice. Whoa, tail walking at the boat. He's hooked up good. On the wiggle hoochie. Now look at this fish go. He won't stop. Can you believe these fish? Unbelievable. They just hooked up good. This is a good fish. Wow.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
Yeah, it is. Man.
This is the biggest one we've gotten so far.
I think it is, but looking at it. Oh, come on. Woo, they're powerful in here. Jeez.
Come on.
They're in no end.
Got her.
Wow, what a beauty.
Good
Easily
job.
20 inches.
Wow.
We're gonna put a tape on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That might be the biggest fish of the trip right
Yeah.
there. Man, here we are in April, and we're catching fish 20 inches in size. These things are going to be 4 pounds by this fall.
That is a West Arm Kokanee fish. It flushed down the Columbia River.
Whoop, there we go.
I kid
Really?
you.
See, we
There,
got
ho, ho, ho.
another one.
Fish
We got
on.
another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. Roger Dodger's gonna take my friggin' fish.
Hey, that's
No,
another one.
I thought it was this one.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I just
Hey,
got
look at
it.
the eagle wants it too.
Oh, it's gonna take
The eagle
fish.
knows.
What do we do with those pliers?
Right to the back.
This is
there.
funny.
Oh, that's his tree. See, the eagles know where these fish are.
Yes, sir. Boy, it's starting to get busy. Look, if we got to this spot. See,
Where-
you said we started too early, and now we're here, and they're there.
I was 83 feet of water we're going over right here.
No,
when
we
we got
come over that point
Look at the
and they're
weight.
hanging off
Yeah.
those points.
Look at the weight on this fish.
nice.
I mean, it is just beautiful.
Hey, look at this
Boy, we got-
lima glass. This is a lima glass steelhead rod, and look at what it does.
yeah.
It's got, look at the bend in a lima glass steelhead rod.
Boy, this is another good fish.
Yeah, quality up that
We're going
point.
back.
There we go. Ah!
That one.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching it, and it looked like it got tapped a couple times, and then I saw it shaking.
Yeah.
And so I have an idea it might be a rainbow, but I don't know. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Never know out here, do you?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. The kokanee today, you know, yesterday these fish were doing nothing but tail walking. I mean, they were coming out of the water. We had one go across the water probably 20 feet tail walking, and today they're kind of laying down. Of course, you know, the weather's changed. We've had quite a bit of rain here, and but it just might be a trout. It's fighting different, not near as big. Yeah. Yesterday we didn't even hit a rainbow.
Mm-mm.
There we go. That's one thing about wiggle hoochies.
Take a look under its chin.
Oh yeah, it is. Look at the fins. I can tell you right now, it's got the white tips. Yep, look under the chin. This is just like the fish we were talking about. Look at the, right on the chin there. See that, orange? Now this is like, what do you call it? What?
That's a triploid.
It's a triploid.
Because it's got that little orange.
Yeah, okay.
Here,
And the fins,
right
you can
here.
see the tail fins cut. Yep.
Let me see what a triploid looks like.
Right there, see the white fins? This is a lot
Oh,
like
yeah,
this is
okay.
a lot like those trout I was talking about up in Redding
Yeah.
and Shasta Lake. They got the white tip fins, the orange under there, almost like a cutthroat. And one thing about that wiggle hoochie, especially that color, wiggle hoochies, trout like them just as much as kokanee. Well, we're gonna let this go. Okay, yesterday we were fishing primarily a lot of the silvers and more of the UV and stuff like that, you know, more of the brighter flashy stuff, which is typical on a good sunny clear day. But today, because we got the clouds and the rain, I like to go to gold or even the copper, which we have today. Of course, this copper melon is one of my favorite, and of course the orange wiggle hoochie there is always a good choice. And as you can see, this is not only working for kokanee, but it's also working for trout. But that's always a good idea on a day like this. Just kind of switch up your color patterns. We've had a totally different day, and it's working.
I got my first nice kokanee. This is the first rod they let me grab for the day.
Let's go.
We won't count the first two I lost,
There you
but
are.
this looks like a nice one here. These fish we're catching out here on Roosevelt, these are just the biggest consistent kokanee I've ever seen in a 2-day stretch. Man, he is just spooling me. Look at that. I'm just barely
How's
just.
it going? You've got a good fish there. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one. Right here.
Okay.
Man, I tell you what.
He ain't wanting to give me an inch though, I'll tell you that.
It's to get in.
Yeah.
Hit.
I thought steelhead that came in a lot easier than this.
These fish are flat on fire.
At least this one's staying down.
Now, Jim, what is the state record here?
6.25.
Well, see.
Six and a quarter.
That's a nice
That is a nice fish, though. Look at that.
Jeez.
I think
I got the tape right here after you take the. You
that's
might
a
want to
fat
take
one. That's a football.
Take the hook out of them. Put the tape on them.
Yeah.
19. Look how
19.
fat he is. There he is. Nice Roosevelt Lake Kokanee right there, guys. We'll get him back in the water. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more Lunker Junkies TV. All right, so that wraps things up for our day 2 there at Roosevelt. A lot of fun on that lake, a lot of big fish, a lot of action. Just a fun time, And Gary Morales is always a blast to fish with, and Jim Sutherland, he was just a hoot, just a character. We had a lot of fun with those guys, and have more fun over on Chalan. So we're using the Lama Glass Kokanee tournament Kokanee rods and some Lama Glass steelhead rods on Roosevelt. Those fish are so big they were putting the steelhead rods to a test. Jim was running the Tika line counters. Now when we go over to Chalan, we're going to run these Caimans, and this is where I actually first started using Tika, was on this trip, and really fell in love with them. Really nice reels. And then we're also on Chalan, we're going to do some cutthroat fishing. We're going to put the little Lama Glass X11 trout rods to use, and these rods are dynamite for catching trout. Just a fun rod, soft rod, so really forgiving in the fight. Just a blast. And we got the Tika reels on here. Good pair up for trout fishing of any kind.
Look at that. That was the first cast on this rooster tail. We're gonna find out in a minute or two. Hey, look at that first rooster tail I ever cast. You can tell Buzz right. Oh, I caught a squawfish. First cast. Look at that.
Yeah, little squaw.
Well, they got their place in the ecosystem, so
Yes, they do.
I don't kill them like a lot of people do, but little squawfish, Lake Chalan, first cast on a rooster tail. We're playing around with little Lama Glass rods, 4-pound test, and we're taking cutthroat here on Lake Chalan. Pulling rooster tails, small spoons.
Yeah, these X11 Lama Glasses, you know, you get into some fun fishing with these, and the game is on, you know.
Hey, it's a little nice. Oh, look at, we're taking drag. But then this is, this is only 4-pound test, guy. Yesterday we were doing a seminar on catching these kind of fish. And hey, today the proof of the pudding is in the catching, but we're using Procure earthworm.
Hey guys, Randy Wells, Lunker Junkies TV. You see me in a few episodes here and there, and in case you didn't know, I'm also a full-time fishing guide in both Oregon and Alaska. In Alaska, you can visit my website at fishsewardalaska.com. Based out of Seward, chasing halibut, lingcod, rockfish, and salmon. We're also based out of Southern Oregon in the fall for fall salmon and winter steelhead fishing. OregonFishingAdventure.com. Check it out. If you'd ever like to do a great fishing trip, let me know. Now stay tuned for more Lunker Junkies TV.
I want to give a special thank you to Watson Resort. Now, if you ever go fish Chalan, which I highly recommend because it's a wonderful Kokanee lake, but the thing I enjoyed most was the chasing big cutthroat. There's some big cutthroat in that lake. And one of my favorite places I've ever stayed at. Watson Resort, you got rustic cabins right there on the lake, overlooking the lake, private dock. These cabins have bathroom, you know, you got your full bathroom with shower, you got bedrooms, they got bunks in some rooms. So the cabin we stayed in will actually sleep 10 people. And then full kitchen, they keep them stocked, you got your pots, pans, everything you need right there. Walk out the porch, walk down across the lawn, you're on the dock, you're in the boat, and you're fishing. beautiful place to stay. Really enjoyed ourselves. So thanks again. Big thank you to Watson Resort. Highly recommend checking them out. Price very reasonable for the amenities you get there.
Well, as you can see, we've been catching a lot of kokanee this morning, just kind of going through a lot of different colors and presentations, just trying to get an idea of what these fish are going to hit tomorrow for the derby. It's typical, you know, what you want to do for a pre-fish before a derby. But been catching a lot of cutthroat out here as well, and that fish is also in the derby, so we wanted to come out here and see if we could troll up a few of those. So we've switched up from our, you know, the typical kokanee sets to more of the trout stuff like the wiggle hoochie, which is a very good kokanee lure, but it was also a very productive cutthroat trout lure. And then we'll run a crippler on the surface as well. So that is a pretty good setup, and we'll see how it works. There we go again. That didn't take long. We got Bubba on this one. Whoa, look at him go. Those little guys are something like that. That's not a, woo, look at that, jumping out of the net even. Look at that guy go.
Humdinger.
Yep,
Right
red
there.
gold humdinger.
Big old humdinger.
Now, it's not a real big fish, but boy, they fight good. No pretty little fish, look at it.
Nice.
Oh, that's a little
Is that
better.
kokanee?
No, it's a
cut?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, step back, there you go, buddy.
Pick 'em up.
There we go.
Nice.
There we are.
Crippler.
The neat thing about the crippler is it's got a real lazy rolling action to it. And it flutters a lot, rolls and that. In fact, we'll show you underwater here. No idea what it does, but yeah, it's a good lure for these. So those fish our lures are just about to be on where those fish are. They moved over to the side and they went back, and they'll move back out into that water they were in when we went over them. Hopefully they'll see our baits. There it is.
There it is.
Look at that. Just exactly like we said. Now this one feels a little better. Yes, it does. Look at that rod bending. Yep, see that school? They moved into that bank, and then sure as heck, as soon as we got down a ways, they moved right back out into that water and fish on. A little better. There we are. They don't like to quit fighting, that's for sure. How's that one feeling, bud? You pulling a little bit? It's a small one, huh?
Small one?
He doesn't get very excited unless they get up to about 5
I
pounds.
just lost him.
No, he's still there. He's just not doing a lot.
That's a nice one, though.
There we go. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you look at the chin right there, you can see there's that orange, real pretty. Nice. Another one. There's a crippler. Grab that one. Got another one on.
This one feels bigger.
Go bigger? All right.
A bigger one. I like that. You know, this is what's so great about a fishery like this. When you've got all these fish. Now, granted, these aren't big fish, but for kids, you know, if you want to get your kids out, there's no better way to get them hooked on fishing than to get into a spot like this where there's so many fish that you're just one after the other. Look at that. It's a better fish. All righty. Give us a little slack there, buddy. There we go. Oh, that crippler. Yeah. Well, here we go. We just got another double. How many is that now? 3? 3 doubles?
Yeah.
We've been in here maybe 30 minutes, and I tell you, we just got bumped. We almost had a triple. Yeah,
It's a
get that
triple.
That was on a wiggle hoochie. That's the first one we got on that. That's got the sling blade on there too. This one feels good, bud. Here it comes. There we go. All right.
Oh, that's a nice one.
There's nothing wrong with that fish. All right. Give it a little slack, bud. A little slack. Fun little fish. Fun little fish. Yo, that one's on a yellow crippler. Oh, that looks like a brown. No, it's a cut. Just got more spots. Look at that. Huh. Anyway, this derby is also all about kokanee. Really, we were just having some fun here, but we're going to go out and chase some kokanee now. See if we can get that big fish to help us win that tournament tomorrow. Oh, here we go. Fish on. Want me to slow her down? Now this fish feels pretty heavy. Oh, that one's got a bend on the rod. That looks good.
Might be the one you're looking for.
Yeah,
let's hope it is.
Well, we've got our 10 fish. We just got to get a couple more big ones. We got 2 or 3 decent fish. Yeah, that'll help. That'll help. Look at that. Went to double blades. There was a little more action on it. You know, the thing about these derbies, so often the fish are, so close in size, they're almost cookie cutters. So if you can get a fish, an inch or so bigger than the rest, I mean, that helps a bunch. Got another bite coming on, looks like. That one's not going to help him. Keep them all eyes. Yesterday we did
10 7/8, 44. 11 1/8, 54.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, we
9 13,
didn't
16.
quite beat
9,
yesterday's
13,
fish,
16,
but
50.
we got some nice ones. Just got to see the total. Those small fish are going to hurt us.
10.
Well, as you can see, those 4 fish we started out with, we were on quite a roll, but it kind of shrank from there, unfortunately. But that's still a pretty good bunch of fish, and we were in, I think, 4th place, starting the day, so we'll see. That's what happens when you take 1st place right there. Doesn't hurt to be local.
Or work for Max Lure.
Hope you enjoyed the show. A lot of fun. This was a really fun trip. Gary Morales, Jim Sutherland, just a blast hanging out with those guys. Enjoyed our stay at Watson Resort for Chalan Lake. Thanks again, guys, for putting us up there. Highly recommend you checking them out if you go up there. Gary, John, and his son actually placed in the tournament. And our buddies over at Max Lure won the tournament. So, Max and Shasta, make sure you check them guys out if you go trout and kokanee fishing. Those are 2 products you got to have in your box. And, of course, our old trusty Procure, Kokanee Special and Trophy Trout were the hot flavors. And then, of course, the corn they used to send it up with Procure as well. But have a good week. We'll see you out on the water. Lunker Junkies TV is brought to you by Mark. Get ready for your season for less. Procure Bait Sense and Cures, ruthlessly effective. Lamaglass Rods, fish with confidence. Yakima Bait Company, home of the rooster tail. Shasta Tackle, inventor of the sling blade. Bait Buttons, because presentation matters. B&R Tackle, inventor of the steelhead holy worm. Northwest Sportsman Magazine, chock full of tips, tricks, and useful information. Fish Seward, Alaska, and Oregon Fishing Adventure. Power Drifter Boats, The Real Tech, and Hypnotic Customs Design and Graphics.
Born to be fishermen. We were born to be fishermen. So come along with me on Lunker Junkie. On Lunker Junkie.